to keep me alive. I feel like I should have a mask on, or a what is it, a persona, or whatever we were talking about before we went live.
Persona.
Inside the Trojan Horse is with me tonight. Welcome, guys. It's so nice to have you on the show. You guys. I know you guys speak, right? You guys speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a little bit.
They're not mimes.
How's it going, guys? Thanks so much for being on. It's nice to have you on the show and find out more about you. I know a lot about you, via your bio, but why don't you tell the folks a little bit about you that didn't see your bio yet?
Sure. But first, that song that you played kicks ass. I really
Nice
dig those guitar layers that guy was doing. So
I'll share that profile with you. Yeah, it's White Harbor. They're really good.
Yeah.
Charles. So basically, Charles and I have been together for a long time as friends. We started together in a band called Loser with John Five, the current guitar player of Motley Crue. And he was young when he came into the band. I came here from Texas from a band called Jibe, and started this band with John Five. We started writing the record with Bob Marlette at the studio, and went to see a show looking for some players, and met Charles on the spot through a mutual friend of John's, and he got in the band immediately. And then we got a drummer, and so we started touring together, and Charles and I were roommates. So we were always, battling like brothers and having great times like brothers and doing the brother thing. And over the years, we started to write together in around 2011, and we were dabbling in between all of our projects and all our bands and all our personal life choices. And as we moved in to around 2021, we started to really get together and write some really powerful stuff. The early stuff's great as well, but it really started to have a connectivity and a sound and a dynamic. And so we started pushing, moved away from each other a touch, came right back together, and we haven't stopped since. And now we brought in Pat, who was in Red Sun Rising, is an amazing drummer, and he puts that extra thing on, that little that thing that just drives it in a progressively impactful way that you can't find or buy anywhere else. And so it's been a long journey of us coming together, and it's been tough, but it's also been really graceful at times and really amazing and enlightening. And to really get these songs to come out now is like a gift for us. We're really very graciously happy. Yeah, stoked.
Pat, I was just in your hometown. I was just in your hometown last weekend. I went to the Porch Rocker Festival in Akron.
So I'm one of the few guys in the band that isn't from Akron, but I've spent months of my life in Akron. I know that festival. I've had friends play that before. That's a good time.
I went and saw.
That's a good time, man.
Saba, which is the shirt I have on. They're really good. Check them out too. And Solio,
Awesome.
that's been on the show as well. Saba's really good friends of mine, and they know of Red Sun Rising and Violent, and what came out of Akron. They're very proud of that.
Awesome. A lot of great bands out of Akron.
The night before I went to that festival, though, I went and saw. I went up to Cleveland because it's not very far from each other, Akron and Cleveland. I went to Cleveland and saw Dream the Heavy, which is TK's the vocalist of Dream the Heavy, and he's co-hosting with me tonight.
Love it. There we go.
Hello, loves.
How you doing, TK?
All right.
Hello,
I actually
Clarice.
I met Pat on tour. Actually, I was touring with Gemini Syndrome playing guitar, and he was playing in Red Sun Rising, and we were touring together with Seven Dust. And I would just watch him set up his drums on the side of the stage every day, tune them, polish all his cymbals, and I was like, I got remembering that guy for sure. And yeah, so as soon as I could, when we were working on Seven, I was like, I need to get a drummer on these tracks. I was like, I know the perfect guy. I've been keeping him in my mind for this whole time. So I hit him up, and here we are.
Are you guys located in the same area, or are you around the country?
No, we're in different places. I'm in Florida now. I was in Los Angeles. I'm in Florida now. Pat's in Nashville, and Charles is in Los Angeles. And we actually tried out. We went to Dallas to try and build a band at first because we didn't really, Pat was doing his thing with the Violent, and we didn't really have a direction. We just knew we wanted to do these songs. So we started playing with some other guys in Dallas and stuff. And Charles just really kept nudging me. He was like, we got to get fucking Pat. I don't care what it takes. We got to get fucking Pat. And I was like, Jesus, all right, fuck. It's like, oh,
you didn't want me? Great. I thought you wanted me too, man. What's going on?
I wanted you, bitch, but it's like, you're hard to get, girl. It takes time.
That's all a game. I'm playing hard to get. It's all a facade.
Yeah.
It's a facade. I like it.
I know we went through this before we went live, but the viewers weren't there when we were just chatting. But tell us about the blank faces. I don't want to call them masks. I don't think it's masks, but what is the idea behind that? I think it's really cool. By the way, I'm not dogging it. I'm just
It feels like an anti-hero hero structure. What happened was Charles had a great idea because we didn't know what we wanted to do. And we've been doing this a long time. We've all played in a lot of bands. We've done a lot of shit. And, this idea sparked out. And what happened was we were shooting videos for these singles for this first EP. And we got to the third single of How They Run. And we donned these masks and these outfits like a mob of like an Agent Orange. Not Agent Orange. What's the movie that I'm thinking of with the dudes in the suits? Clockwork Orange.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, like that vibe, like a mob. And what happened was, for me personally, the minute that we're in this abandoned fucking gutted mall that's nasty with dead bats and goo and shit. It's pretty cool. But the minute I pulled the mask on, something changed and I couldn't put it back. It broke me. As soon as I put the fucking mask on, I broke everything I thought I was and everything, all the constructs of my egocentric self and blah, 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 all went out the fucking door. And it was like, I'm free. I'm fucking free. And now I can't be unfree. So thanks, Charles. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. But he fought against it too. It was like 3 days that he was back and forth. He was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And he was like, I think we got to do it. I don't know if I can do it. We're going to do it. And then once he decided, he was in. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it's a thing to destroy yourself, of your own free will. It's one thing when other people's crack you in half and you rebuild yourself. It's another thing when you decide to do it. It's kind of it's an empowering thing. And all I can say is the mask coming down. I've performed thousands of shows. I've lost my mind. I've broken bones. I've jumped off things. I've fallen off things. I've fucking done things that probably seem pretty interesting and exciting in the moment. But when I pulled the mask on, something else happened that hadn't happened and all those other things. So thank you, Charles. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's
no
awesome.
worries, dude. Yeah. I could see it in my mind, and I thought it was would be a cool idea, especially with the imagery of the band name and the like all the artwork and stuff behind all of that. And I was just like, I really love the suits too. It's like a classy look. We'll have fun with that too, I'm sure, in the future. Maybe we'll don some navy suits, maybe some white suits, we'll try different things out.
All kinds of things. Yeah, we'll have it. It's definitely gives us a whole nother realm to push as far as aesthetically and as far as presentation wise. I see a lot of exciting things on top of the arty chaos that's going to ensue with or without it.
I'm enjoying the little videos you guys are putting on Instagram lately here with the what is it? Nobody's allowed to touch rails, or what are those? Some of those.
Oh, that's NoOne. That's Joe. So yeah. Joe's taking a lead on the old social media there. Yeah, and he's really.
I wouldn't call it a lead. It's more of it's a mini presentation to keep the world a view intrigued of what we're doing and what we're having fun. The thing about this is it's an ego killer. Hero, anti-hero, and you're allowed to have fun and you're allowed to fucking maybe go a little bit further or maybe in another direction that you normally don't go without the mask because you're in the fucking mask.
Yeah.
I love the idea, the whole idea, and the single was freaking great. I can't wait to hear the rest of the stuff. I mean, like, what else? Because you can hear elements of everything that you guys have been involved with, individually, and it all comes together in this, and it's just like, man, and it's not a super group, like I guess it's supposed to be termed a super group when it comes when that happens, but it's not though. It doesn't sound. It just, I don't know. It's still your own
masks. I think it's just because we didn't want to have that whole thing going for us.
Yeah.
But as far as the stuff that's coming out, Burn is just a taste. It's going to get heavier. It's going to get weirder. It's going to get more progressive. I've decided to I'm not chasing radio anymore. I just, if I write a song and it's 7 minutes long, it's going to be 7 minutes long. I'm really into progressive metal and all of these new progressive bands. So a lot of the new stuff after this stuff is kind of getting heavier and heavier as well.
I think radio's going out the door. Like I had a show on Tuesday and I was talking to Grace about it. You know, I can't remember the last time I listened to the radio or even like satellite radio. I just don't have any interest in it at all.
Yeah, there's no excitement in anything that's overly polished or handed down or just a mass produced product that there's 10,000 going out every day at 4 a.m. like a 4 a.m. drop type thing, like a Mockingbird Media if that existed kind of thing.
Yeah, we have a really cool dynamic. Just like we talk to each other and we produce everything ourselves and write everything ourselves, and then we just have it mixed and mastered, and we pay for everything ourselves and put it out ourselves. And so we have complete control over everything that we're doing. And so if it's like, if Joe's like, hey, can we make this part a little longer? I'm like, sure. I'm like, hey, Joe, can we try an alternate version of this just to see what it sounds like vocally? He's like, sure. And so we work like that, and it works really good.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good lengthy developmental it's like bands I've been in for 9 years. It feels like that kind of vibe because we've developed this over a long period of time. We've honed in our craft, if you will, not to get too chintzy cheesy, but that's what it is. It's an effortless craft. And when anything he sends me, if it's 3 minutes long or if it's 30 minutes long, as soon as I hear it, I hear it, and I don't have to try anything. The narrative and the words and the melody and everything comes out in an effortless motion through me. I don't take credit. I'm no one. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I'm no one. This is I'm a vent to bring this thing through. And Charles is able to evoke that and stoke that fire. And I'm pretty gracious to have that ability to have that in my life.
It's definitely a wonderful thing. You could hear the authenticity in it. In this single, and in having a conversation with the three of you even before we went on, I heard your backstory, but I could definitely feel your camaraderie in what you've invested in each other as artists. And when you do that, you have that round table of allowing it to come through. And like you were mentioning, you know, in a way, you become that conduit to it, and you let your ego out the door. And you're showing this in your performance now, but when you come together with people that you respect and you put that time into, it's not about ego. It's not about pushing your idea in front of anybody else's. It's about creating together and allowing it to come through, tapping into something that's already existed and just being that conduit. And it's really nice. It's really nice to have that ability to not worry about a label telling you what to do or your audience, but the three of you telling each other how to be most natural of all the years you've put in, and it's coming across in your latest single. It's really good.
You have that Dream the Heavy kind of has a similar situation. You know, you guys all came from different backgrounds, you know, bands and things, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. There's
there.
plugging.
There we
Dream
go.
the Heavy. Dream the Heavy. Say it 3 times.
I'm waiting.
Dream the Heavy.
TK's a very good performer when he's singing and things, but you do a lot of stepping up on the stool thing, and I just one of these days you're just gonna fall, and I don't want that to happen.
It happens. I can tell you 100% it happens. When bones get broken, I have them all. Just keep on keeping on, because the thing about art and the moment of performance and the moment of connectivity with an interface of a crowd, when you interface with a fucking crowd and a hum of a band and you're in the center of it and everything is going off and you lose consciousness or you break something or you fucking go further, that's a gift, man. I fucking relish those moments. And I think that's everything you just mentioned about how you described everything. Well said.
Yeah. Joe's got this crazy work ethic,
and
dude,
yes,
like
good.
No one else I've ever met either. And so anytime that I need straightening out, because I mean, we've known each other since 2004. So he'll just be like, dude, he'll pull me aside and like, what's wrong with you? Pull your shit together. It's time to get, and I love that like he can do that and I can hear him and I don't get upset about it. I just listen. And so that is one of the benefits of like being friends with somebody for that long,
True.
Yes, that respect, because it's coming from a place of brotherhood instead of ego, like we'd mentioned.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we bicker like brothers, but we always end up on the right side.
Whose original idea was it
to
start Inside the Trojan Horse? Whose idea was it first, if there was an individual idea?
Well, if you go back to the origins of It depends if you go to 2011 or if you start when Charles brought in the name, when we were trying to search for a name and he had the name. There's a couple of different points of entry on that. Depends on where you want to go with that.
Where's the name come from? How did the name come up?
The
Charles?
name, yeah, I came up with the name Inside the Trojan Horse. I just like the imagery of like it being like a double meaning. It could be like a computer virus infiltrating, or it could be an army inside of something. And I thought that was really cool. I really like the idea of a horse as an image. It's a very strong, powerful image. I just really liked the way that we could create logos out of the design. We actually originally in like 2008, when we were just, and back then we were just learning how to like use Pro Tools and teach ourselves how to write songs on the computer. And we were called I Am the Wolf, and somebody took that. So originally that was what we were going to be called. And then we had to, as we started like progressing on all of this, none of this material that you guys are hearing is new. It's going to be 6 to 7 years old at this point, but it's just finally coming out. But yeah, once we got there, I was toying with it, and I was showing Joe some sketches of like, I'm like, here's some ideas I have for like shirts and like kind of like what the logo would look like. And just like, and I found it very iconic, kind of like the Nine Inch Nails logo. You see that logo, and that logo is just like bam. And so when I was drawing different sketches, I was like, check this out. And I was like, I think that this and then I second guessed myself, and Joe was like, no, that's a great name. And then so that's how the name came about. But we had been working on this project, the two of us, off and on since like 2008.
Yeah.
Actually, so I guess, because the first stuff really happened in my Laurel Canyon home, this old 100-year-old house I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd get Charles high, and I'd put him in. I had this really big tiles, probably 50s or 60s redone bathroom. The house was 100 years old, but the bathroom had been redone in the 50s or 60s, and it was all tile, and it was big, and it was wonky looking and cool. So I'd put him in there, and we'd build a baffle and put headphones on him and a talkback mic, get him real high, and then just talk to him, and then he'd just start jamming, and we just talk back and forth, and I'd record everything and just put it in pieces. And that's kind of the beginning stages of how everything started. It was just kind of jamming in this 100-year-old house in the Hollywood Hills in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, actually, Joe, I was playing bass for that project before, and Joe's like, dude, you're a songwriter. You can do this. I know you can do this. Let's just do this. And so Joe gave me the courage to be like, okay, I can be a songwriter and a producer. And I ran with that.
Yeah, Charles has an uncanny gift of adaptation. I've noticed that in people that I meet throughout life in various parts of the country and world I've lived. And Charles has that thing. So it just, when you see it, you can't help but admire it and want to help it blow up.
Dig it. Yeah.
Are you guys going to be bringing this on the road? Because I want to meet you in person. I'm not going to be able to tell you apart at all, but that's okay.
I think in person you might be able to. We're all different heights, but maybe not. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. No, there is another person I've been thinking about. We're going to try to keep it as a 3-piece, but I do have someone in mind as a 4th member in case we need, and he will be called Nowhere. And he's also someone that I've worked with in other bands, and just one of my favorite human beings to tour with. He's the funniest guy ever. Positive.
Who is it again?
Well, I wasn't going to.
He's not going to
Nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
He's nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not here yet. He's nowhere.
Sly. That's real sly, Scott. That's real sly.
Yeah, his name will be Nowhere. And so, but yeah, we were thinking about toying with that, but we're kind of good keeping it as a tripod and seeing if we can make this work as a 3-piece. Just vocals, guitar, and drums, and see how that goes.
How's it going to go with bass? I'm just asking because maybe a viewer would ask.
We're going to pull like a periphery. We're going to have the bass on track coming through a bass amp on stage. Yeah. So that'll be what's on track is just some bass.
So would Nowhere be covering that spot?
No, actually, if we bring Nowhere in, we're going to bring him in as a second guitarist.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah. You got to have that. I guess
he's a hell of a.
Got to cover those layers. All those guitar layers you got.
And he's one of those guys that has like a billion pedals, all boutique, and he like makes all the cool noises and textures, and I really want to get him involved. But,
one of the guys at that festival had all of his pedals on a skate deck, like a skateboard deck. It was awesome. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
a billion of them.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm like, you need another skate deck. You're getting crowded on that one, you know. But he just carries it off stage. You know, I was like, that's kind of cool.
I walked into a van
Style points.
2 days ago, and I looked at some skate decks, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get one of these. And
I'm definitely getting one. I spent many years as a street skater. Like actually, that was my life for quite a while.
Did you ever meet
I'm
Tony
definitely gonna
Hawk?
get one, but my girlfriend, of course, thinks I'll break my fucking arm or something, which I probably will.
I will break my wrist immediately. That's why I didn't do it. I'm just like, yeah, and then I'll be out of commission, can't play bass or guitar. I was like, I can't do that. But we do ride quads, and that's fun. That's a lot of good. Yeah.
What do you guys say we listen to Burn? Are you guys cool with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now there's one coming out soon. What, September 13th? Is that right? September 13th?
Yes, that's Savior.
Okay.
That's the next song, Savior. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well, this is the one that's currently out. And is this going to be an album or an EP? You know, a lot of bands are doing EPs first, I guess.
EP.
EP.
5
How many
songs.
5 songs.
Yep. And then we'll follow
right.
it up with another 5.
What is Burn about? Is it about fire?
It's about desire, like when you're you maybe had a taste of something and you fucking gotta have it, and it's really far away, but you know you can get it.
Nice, I like that. All right, here is Burn by Inside the Trojan Horse. This is. I have many questions about this song, but it might not be good for an entire episode. But you know, an entire episode's worth. Anyway, just listen to it. It's bad.
Deep undercover and the night
My goodness, that's yeah, that's yeah.
Damn.
That's
You
okay.
hear Pat's drums?
Charles, was it you that has you played with filter, right?
I did, yeah.
I hear a lot of filter in that.
Oh,
Ish.
it's interesting. Actually, after I left Gemini Syndrome, I didn't play guitar for 3 years, and the first song I played after I finally picked up a guitar after 3 years was that song.
Nice.
But I can understand what you're saying, actually. But it's funny because the kind of gallop of that dun 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 was I think was a little bit of Stardust of Gemini Syndrome, maybe.
Okay.
A little bit of vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear a lot of things in this. A lot of things.
Yeah. There's
It's
a
also
lot
it's also not uncanny that I also played with Gino Leonardo, the guitar player for Filter, and Charles was actually in that band for a minute up in Chicago, a band called South of Earth. So we do have some Filter connections.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that in there. The drumming is just outrageously good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ, that fill at the end of the song when he plays through the
Oh,
fucking part,
like just
that's
the
my
offbeats
favorite part of the song. I love that fucking.
I've got to explain because what's unique about this project is I've never been in a band where people are just want me to play as much and express myself all the way without any sort of like restraints. Obviously, I have my own restraints because I've been playing drums for 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is. So I've learned what works and what doesn't. But these guys are always asking for more, and it's pretty exciting for me that I get to hear this back and be like, wow, that actually did work out. Because at the time it feels naughty, and it's like, there's no way this is going to work.
Yeah,
make it work.
I say this a lot on my show that when you listen to it on a speaker, you don't hear everything, but when you have cans on, you hear every little thing. And I'm hearing all the stuff you're doing on the drums. It's like, that's got to be a digital drum track. That's Pat playing, and it's just, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through a lot of stuff. Charles and I were like, Charles was like, hey man, I'm not comping your drums here, and then hey, I'm going to comp them a little bit. Like we really didn't, from what I remember, we didn't really do a whole lot to them to fix the timing or maybe some adjustments here because obviously I'm not perfect, but
no, it was just like Pat generally does 3 to 5 takes of the song. And then I go, okay, I make a mental note. I'm like, okay, loved that verse and chorus. Going to use that. I'm going to use that bridge from that take. That fill that he played on the 5th time, that's definitely going in there. It's just
every take though with Pat is exciting. Like we're sitting there, we do it in a Zoom meeting actually. When we do kind of like this. Yeah. And every take, Charles and I are just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because you guys are geeking out and smiling. Obviously everybody mutes themselves on the camera. You can kind of see my studio right now. It's not where I recorded Burn. This is my new studio, but I'm rocking out and I'll look over at the screen and these guys are like kind of flipping out. So it's kind of fun to get a rise out of somebody, through Zoom while playing it. Because I'm like, does that feel cool? And I'll just read body language. That was cool. All right, give it to him again.
Yeah. Like I'll send him like a version of the track with like program drums, and then like as soon as he starts playing, like in 2 seconds, I'm like, "Yep, that's it." I'm like, that is way better than what I was thinking it was gonna be. Yeah,
yeah.
The way that he drops down on that verse when the bass drops, that doom doom doom.
Yes,
it's just so like he's in the pocket with that hi-hat. I'm just like, yeah.
When we were working on this band, I always thought I had, because I initially started programming the drums in the very beginning when I was piecing stuff together, and then Charles became a way better producer in his realm and started taking off in that, so I could focus on the vocals and really becoming a producer of the vocals and really making them the best. And I always had this construct of what I thought the drummer should be, and then Pat came to town. I was like, "Fuck that, come on."
I want to give TK a chance to give his reaction of the song also, if you want.
Oh, well, I tell you what, man, it really caught me immediately. Today, I admit today was the first time that I listened to it, and I put cans on and listened to it, and it caught me. It's very well produced. The layers are fantastic. The drumming, every instrument has a great presence. But being a vocalist, I really would like to hear about your vocal background and where you went to, or what you've been waiting to unleash for this project versus other projects where you added, versus other projects. And I don't know what those dynamics were, but there's a really great release in this. You could hear that I could hear certain influences because that's what humans do in order to find a relationship. But it's very authentic. It's very authentic. And so I'd like to hear you just talk about that if you don't mind.
I appreciate that's very insightful and very, it's a wonderful thing to hear. There really is no guidelines or anything I could assemble with perfect right angles and smooth corners. Everything seems to be cyclical in the approach now with everything in life. Everything becomes everything. Lauryn Hill wrote a song about it, and unfortunately she stuck her dick so far up everything, then she had to go crazy to pay for it. So in life, when you survive and you come to a point of oneness where the artisan is wherever you go, and you find a love for yourself to get closer to God, whatever God is for you, when you find it, you go inside instead of being detached from the external, and you become the internal. And you start to focus on the release and letting go of the things you acquire because you don't need them anymore. It becomes a lot easier to get out of your own way. But in that path, so many experiences of self-sabotage and so many experiences of elation and highs that you could never imagine, and talking to God in the sense of just spirituality and high hums of vibration and insanity and intensity all at once, breaking bones, doing all that. But this band right here is a refined channel of effortlessness that I really would love to talk all day long on how I've done all this wonderful stuff, but I just got out of my own way finally, is all I've really done. And it just happens, and it's precious and pure and natural, and it's my everything, and without it I don't know what I would be or do.
A refined channel of effortlessness. That is well said. I really appreciate that, and I resonate 100% with what you're saying. Every year of experience, this waking life aligns me with everything that you said, and it seems like once you're able to remove the ego and wear and don your new persona, which is nothingness, you're able to align with the now and the people that you respect and move forward in a very authentic manner, and it's coming through. So cheers, baby. Cheers.
Thank you. And cheers to you for asking those questions, because without those questions, I have nothing to say.
Here's another amazing thing about Joe too, as well, is that so usually I'll send a track kind of like in a finished form, and then Joe will take it from there, and then he'll start doing vocals. And when he does his vocals, like, it's not just one or two vocals. Like, Joe has his vocal chain down in his studio, and like will sing it for days and days and days until he gets exactly the right performance. There's literally sometimes 20 to 30 stacked layers of harmonies and whispers and stuff like that you're not even aware that are there. And then I know they're there when I get them back from like mastering. I'm like, whoa, listen to that. I had no idea that much stuff was going on. How detailed he is with that stuff. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you.
I've never known a singer that was like that tuned into exactly his sound and what he's trying to accomplish. It's awesome.
If I guess who Nowhere is, will you tell me?
Sure.
It's really bugging me. For some reason,
I can tell, Scott. I can tell.
Is it John 5?
No, it's not John 5.
Damn it!
Yeah,
that would be terrific if it was.
Yeah, no, John 5. When John 5, we don't really talk to John 5.
He's busy right now. He's busy right now.
No, he can't be that busy.
He's busy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
He's busy.
I was at a show. This was a couple of years ago, but I was at a show in Marietta, Ohio, which is right on the border of West Virginia, where I'm at. And John 5 was playing a show at the Adelphi Music Hall, right behind the bar that I was at, watching local band Grown Bones. And it just that close, but somebody had the idea of maybe we should go over and ask John 5. He must come. I'm like, he's busy. He's not going to come over and watch. That's the closest I've been to John 5. Though.
It's funny. I lived with John 5 for about, I don't know, how long did I live there, Charles? Maybe 6 or 8 months. It was a while.
Months, yeah.
When I first moved to Los Angeles to do the band with John, we were making the record over at Marlette's studio. I actually lived with Bob, and his wife at the time was the porn star Aria Giovanni.
Yep. fresh off the boat from Texas. I was 21 years old when they met me backstage at A Perfect Circle. And
oh my God, it's my favorite band in the world.
Yeah, no, if you listen to Burns' Bridge section, that's totally A Perfect Circle. I mean, that's one of my biggest influences. But yeah, so we met there, and then I forgot where I was gonna go with this.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. That's probably
we met at that show, and they're like, I was literally there in town for 3 months, and I'm shaking hands. I'm meeting all these rock stars. I met Maynard and Maynard's son and blah, blah, blah. And then like, John's like, yeah, we're looking for a bass player. I'll call you tomorrow. But he doesn't ask for my phone number. So my phone rings the next day, and I'm like, who is it? John 5. Yeah, right. And I just like sent it to voicemail. Hey, Charles, it's John 5. This is right after you left Marilyn Manson. Just want to see if you wanted to come meet with us and the producer and maybe join the band.
You sent it to voicemail?
I did. That's I mean, I didn't really believe that he didn't ask for my phone number. But the most amazing thing is I went there with Nancy Berry, who signed A Perfect Circle. She was the CEO of Virgin Records. Yeah. And it was like full, like we had all access with everyone because she's like, high up in the music industry. And we're hanging out, and then all of a sudden I'm a big Nine Inch Nails fan. Danny Lohner from Nine Inch Nails gets in the car, and he's like, hey man, come hang out. So I come out, and like, we're standing between the buses. It's me, Billy Howardell, James Eha, and Josh Freese, and Danny Lohner. And I'm 21, and I'm just from Texas. These are all the bands that I look up to. And I remember I was like, I'm just not going to say anything, and I'm just going to take this moment in. And it was
best behavior.
Amazing. It was it was the coolest thing ever. I wish that like everyone who is trying to play music could experience that kind of thing, because it was really a really special thing.
You kind of have to be. You can't be starstruck because it just seems to me that they wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want you to be. They want you to be you.
I could tell you probably the greatest gift that you can do for them and yourself is just to be present, treat people like human beings, because the best gift for your journey is to realize that everybody that you've admired is on their own journey, and they are just human beings. I work in the film industry, and every time I'm around that, I watch the process and I realize, you are that guy. You are just the guy that lives up the street. You are this, you are this. You're a human being going through your own journey, and you're just a human being. And when you see that, especially at 21, this is probably a gift to you, and moving to LA and being a part of that, you start realizing there's no reason that can't be me, because that's just him, and it's possible. And it's a great gift to be there and see that. That was pretty cool. That's a really cool story.
You weren't on the Alec Baldwin set, the famous Alec Baldwin set, were you? The Rust set?
Oh, with the shoot? No. I was on a different set with him. I wasn't on that one.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy.
I still don't understand how that happens, but I don't want to get into that either. But
yeah, the Crow, right? But what my point is that that's a really cool story for you to be that young and then to experience people just being people. Yeah, when you come across their persona, and their art.
I mean, I couldn't believe Danny Lohner jumped in.
Comes from people.
He was like, "Come on out and hang out with us," and I was just like, I knew exactly who he was. I was like, okay, all right,
sure, yeah. Lohner's a good guy. He actually lived up the street from me in Shaka Khan's old castle in Laurel Canyon. And when I was working with Gino from Filter, making the South of Earth record, we made a lot of it. A lot of it in Chicago at Johnny K's studio, and then a lot of it in Danny Lohner's house, with the guys in Korn being there and all these people coming in and out. It was pretty surreal. He lives it's literally it was Shaka Khan's castle that he bought it from her. Nine Inch Nails was doing really well. Awesome. So I had many nights crawling home down the hill from that place, man. I'll tell you that.
I have a sort of a connection to Nine Inch Nails a little bit.
Awesome.
And Trent Reznor, sort of. Cool. There's a band in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you know them, TK. They're called Amplifiers. Really good friends of mine, and they were on one of the really early, you guys are episode 287, by the way. They were on episode 20 something a long time ago. I became really good friends with them. Anyway, The lead singer, Cy Lewis, his parents lived next door to the Resners, or lived next door to the Resners. I thought Trent Reznor was like a stage name. I didn't even know that was like a real last name when he told me this. But he has, I guess, one day after Trent Reznor had left the went on and did his thing. And Cy had already left the house. And Trent Reznor's parents brought over this bow, like a fiddle bow, that was Trent's, that he'd used on something in Nine Inch Nails at some point, and said Trent wants Cy to have this, and Cy has it in his house, like in a just up on a shelf somewhere.
Beautiful.
And so that's my only. But apparently the Reznors, they were big into like heating and air conditioning, and that's what his dad does or did. I don't probably retired now, but so that's my only connection to Trent and the Reznors.
Good story. I like it.
I just didn't know. I just thought I thought Reznor was just like his stage name. I didn't know that there was
such a
the
great name.
Reznors,
Like
the Reznor household. I didn't know there was the Reznor
Resonator.
Yeah.
That guy.
It's like
that
a
guy,
razor that resonates. It's good. Great name.
That guy was laser focused, knew exactly what he wanted. Everything about his whole project and delivery was well thought out and planned out, from the stage shows to the way they looked to the logo, the name. He really was. He's iconic what he did.
I want to talk about. I would put it in the email. I don't know if Joe remembers this in the email, but I try to do a segment on the show towards the end, that kind of breaks off of the interview. And for a long time, for a year and a half, I had a wiener segment, and thankfully you guys dodged the bullet. It wasn't really about wieners or what you think it might be about, but it was about hot dogs. And I had a friend that wanted to know what this band liked on their hot dogs and where you could get a hot dog in Texas or something. I think that's where the band was from. And so I did that for a year and a half. And yeah, it was interesting at points, but like after a while I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just stupid, It's dumb. So like I quit doing that in January and started a landmark segment where I was, different landmarks that people can't search on Google, things like that. But I kind of mixed it up with Joe, and I was like, you guys have all done tours, across the country, across the world. What is your best tour story individually? Like, it could be funny, it can be sad, it can be embarrassing. Just let us know what your best tour story is individually.
Pat, you go first.
I've got a great one, and it falls into the line of embarrassing, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
I was on my first bus tour with Red Sun Rising. The only reason we were on a bus is because our van had broken down. We were in a Sprinter van, and we just needed transportation. The only thing we could find was a bus. So we weren't ready to be in a bus yet, but we were like, oh my God, we're in a fucking tour bus. And, every bunk was accounted for. We had way too many dudes. It was 13 or 14 guys on this bus. And we're going somewhere, and we're obviously drinking. And the next day, we were going to go to Sirius XM Studios in New York City to shoot our Octane Unplugged segment. It's all video recorded. And so I decided I'm going to go to bed, guys. I had a few drinks, of course. Guys, I'm going to bed. I'm on the top bunk here. You guys just leave me alone. I need to get some rest. I got a big day tomorrow. And these guys were not having it. They're opening my curtain. They're mooning me. They're throwing shit at me. They're farting at my bunk. Everyone, just going after me. So we had a lot of male nudity in this project. So I just stripped down and started chasing everybody. We're all running around the bus. And my merch guy shut the door, and I'm running full speed. The bus is going 70 miles an hour. I'm running full speed back to the back lounge. He closes the door. I hit my head right here. So it wasn't really in my eye, but it hit like the top of my eyebrow. And it's got so swollen. I had the biggest black eye. Disgusting. Like, I was concerned for my well-being at the time. So if you go back and watch some early Red Sun Rising Octane videos, I'm wearing glasses to disguise it, but you can see a big goiter, a big black eye just chilling right there. And then
this is where the mask would have been.
This is when I would have loved to have had a mask. And then, it's our first big tour. So I went back to Albany, New York, my hometown. The next day, played a hometown show. I got a black eye. I saw my mom. It was all the It was the worst time to get a black eye ever.
That's
Top
awesome.
that, fellas. Top that.
Yeah,
What are they doing to you?
Yeah, are you okay? Is everything all right with these
What's
bands?
funny is I
Okay.
thought you're
Time of
talking
my
about the
life.
nudity. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought-
You like male nudity?
I
Is that
thought
what
you were
saying?
going to say with the nudity, when the door's shut, that you were cock blocked with the door.
Oh, that yeah.
Thankfully, it was just my head.
Yeah.
Joe, do you want me to tell the story?
Which one? The one that I did on Digital Tour Bus?
Yeah, the theory one.
Yeah, go ahead and tell it. You lived it.
Okay.
I lived.
So our first tour with Loser with John 5 was with Stained and Theory of a Deadman. And we had a van. We didn't have a bus. But we all became friends relatively early on in the tour. And so one night, Dean, the bass player of Theory of a Deadman, he's like, "Hey, there's a hockey game. We should go out. We'll have some drinks, right?" So me and Dean, we go out, we watch a hockey game, we have some beers, we're hanging out. Then he's like, "Oh, let's go to another bar." So we go to another bar and we hang out there. I mean, it's like the bars are closing. He's like, "All right, let's go back to my bus." And he's like, "We'll have like a nightcap." And I'm pretty trashed at this point. So I go back over there and we have a couple drinks and I'm starting to pass out. And I'm like, "Dude, I gotta go. I gotta go back to the hotel," because me and Joe are sharing a room. And I was like, I need to get back over there. I was like, I don't even have my wallet or a jacket. And it was in the middle of the winter. It was somewhere in February. And he's like, "No, man, it's all good. We got an extra bunk. Just lay down. Just go, just crash out. It's all good. We're all going to be at the same place tomorrow." Well, he didn't realize, because he was drunk, that my band had 3 days off, but they had filled theirs at the Super Bowl party. So we were going to different states. So
No.
I woke up the next day, like super hungover and in just like this biggest shame spiral, because like I knew that I don't have a bus and I knew I was in a bus and I was afraid to even open the curtain. And so I finally like come out and do like the walk of shame. I have like $25 in cash per diem, no wallet, no phone charger, no jacket, nothing. And then like their crew guys are, "All right, man, it's time to drop the trail. You got to get out there. It's time to earn your keep." So they're messing with me. Everyone's messing with me. And they're like, "No, we're just kidding to go back inside there." So I ended up staying with Theory of a Deadman on their bus for 3 or 4 days while they were doing this show, just crashing on their bus, just this stranger, and then meeting back up with our band. But with that being said, that was a really wild, crazy experience. But I'm like, me and Tyler, the singer of Theory, are still like best friends to this day.
That's so funny. Like, where did Joe and everybody think you were? Like, what happened?
If you want, you could actually. I told my perspective of the story about how on Digital Tour Bus recently about how it was like, where's the show gets canceled because we get snowed in and we're in Rhode Island, way the fuck up at the top of the country. Our next show is going to be in South Carolina like 2 or 3 days later. Okay, so then the show gets canceled. Charles is gone. I'm like, "Where's Charles?" I was like, "Oh, Theory took him to a hockey game." All right, cool. So I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning. Charles' cell phone, his money, his clothes, everything's still there. Fucking, on the fucking his nightstand, and he's not back. And I'm like, "Oh, well, Theory's got him. It's okay." So I go back to, we go do whatever, then they'll go back to sleep to get up the next morning to drive. And I get up the next morning and all the shit's still there and he's still gone. I'm like, what the fuck? So we had to get in the car and we didn't hear anything, or not the car. We got in our rig and started, we were in a van at the time. And we started driving towards South Carolina, not knowing what the hell is going on, And finally, Theory's tour manager called, or somebody called and let our tour manager know, Dean, that they had him. we didn't know what we were going to do when we got to South Carolina. We didn't have a bass.
You know what you guys need to do when you guys go on tour with Inside the Trojan Horse? Steal one of their guys and take him for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell anybody.
You're coming
Tell
with
anybody
us,
about it.
No, but it's funny. They were actually after the whole like hazing bit, they were actually, they were very like, they're Canadian, so they're real funny, like they like to joke around. Yeah. They got that Canadian humor. And honestly, like I really tried to make friends with everybody, and to this day I'm still friends with them. So
Tyler's a great guy. Those are all great guys.
yeah, they asked, I ended up doing 3 or 4 tours playing bass for them. because their bass player had children. So they were like, hey, can you come play bass so he can be home with his family? And I was like, sure. So I did a bunch of tours. So that kind of worked out, but it was at the time, and I was God embarrassed. I was like super viral.
Yeah, it was a little stressful, but it's really worked out well. And it's a great story, actually.
Yeah.
It starts out with Charles, we played this Island Def Jam retreat, and Jay-Z was there. It was this thing up in Connecticut, the Foxwoods Casino, and they just built it at the time. And so it was like, we had like champagne in our what is it? What do we have in there? We had bottles.
They gave us
Crystal. Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah. Our hotels with our names on it, and these little bracelets in gold. It was like the Welcome to Island
Tiffany's
Def Jam thing.
Tiffany's.
So we leave. We do that. We play for like every exec and everything in this theater there, and then we leave. The next day, and we're headed to, up to Rhode Island. And as we're getting closer, it's snowing, and Charles is getting all excited. Oh man, because he'd never seen snow. And so we roll up. We get to the hotel, and there's all these. Looks like what appears to be freshly piled, drifted snow that they plowed out of the thing. Charles jumps out of the fucking van before we can even almost stop and get parked. And he's running towards it, and he just jives head first. And he hits it and just bounces off onto the concrete because it's frozen. So he's like, oh, yeah, oh shit. Because we're like, oh fuck. And then he's like, yeah. And we're like, yeah. And it was hilarious.
Oh my God. It hurt so bad. I thought it was going to be, but it was, it's
a very Wile E. Coyote moment.
Yeah. I was 21, that living life.
That's just
great. Yeah.
I don't know, Pat. That one kind of tops your story. I'm sorry to tell you that, man.
It's definitely way cooler. I mean, my story has no cool points. It's all embarrassing. But someone's got to let the secrets out.
I gotta let TK in on this question. I know Dream the Heavy hasn't toured much because you guys are kind of new, but you've done other entities at other bands. Do you have I'm sure there's a story of something that went awry or just something interesting.
No, my life is perfection and nothing ever goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are all beautiful, humbling moments where you start realizing again that you have to be the jester. You have to kind of allow yourself to laugh and learn. And the only thing about like when you tell your stories when you're around these people that you're like, well, after the hazing, that's one thing I don't personally do well with, and all the experiences. It's like everybody's going through their shit. And when people kind of like push you into those awkward scenarios just to see what your mettle is, it kind of says more about what they're dealing with. And, everybody wants to tell those stories of what they survived as, this badge of honor instead of just fucking like, this is what happened, being very honest with you. Now you don't ever have to do that. Instead of, I'm going to put you through this now, fucking fraternity bullshit.
I think you should still take
that's one thing I got to say on those topics.
I will say one of the grossest things that's ever happened was I was on a tour, and we were in an RV that was converted with bunks. And I kept telling everyone, hey, we have to dump the septic. 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 It's full. Dump the septic, right? Yeah. Well, they didn't dump the septic, and then it just overflowed. All the blue water and got all over the carpet inside of the whole tour vehicle.
Go goth and shit demon.
Yeah,
Blue Man Group.
I was just like, what do you even like?
What do you do with that?
This is a biohazard. This is literally a biohazard. Like, my bunk was on the top. I just got in my bunk and I was like, you guys can deal with this. I've been telling you for days.
Yeah, not your fault anymore.
Well, since you've opened the door to this, since I haven't told my story, a tour story. Unfortunately, I have a lot of tour stories that involve a lot of things that it's hard for me to remember a lot of the things that happens in details. It's better when there's a couple of people that were there to tell as well. But one of the more recent things, or not recent things, but one of the things that comes to mind in a story that's actually very old. But since Charles took it there, I just told a couple of tour stories to a couple of different entities. So I'm going to give you a fresh one. And since Charles took it to the fecal matter in the bus, I'll go ahead and give you a nice, warm, fuzzy one. Jibe, my band Jibe, was on tour in the early 90s, young days. We were out. We had played like Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we're headed to like Minneapolis. And so it's the middle of the night. We're in a 15-passenger van with a trailer, and it's pitch dark. We're on a state highway. Maybe it was a 4-lane highway. whatever the highway is between, I think, Omaha and Des Moines. So we're on that highway. It's nothing but cornfields, pitch black. We're smoking weed. I was in the middle. I was in the first bunk or first bench in the center. Sean, the bass player, was driving, and Ben, the drummer, was in the passenger seat. We were just talking about the show earlier, how it was cool, and I'd ripped out my hair. And we played with this band Mousetrap, and my hair got caught in the headstock of my guitar player, and I couldn't get it out. And I was just, I had really long hair at the time, as well as I do now, but I couldn't get it out for like a song. And so I didn't know what to do. It was young days. So I just put my foot on and kicked as hard as I could, and all my bangs came out. So my head was hurting. So we were talking about that and laughing about that shit, and looking at my hair because it looked ridiculous. So we're just getting high, and it's like maybe 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and we start to see off in the distance these flashing lights. Like it looks like UFOs or something in the horizon. We're like, what the fuck is that? It's getting closer and closer and closer. The closer we get, the bigger lights get. We're like, what the fuck is this? And wait, now it looks like it's on both sides of the fucking road, like in the median, because it's a split highway, and it's over here. Well, what the fuck is going on? And so we're like, man, maybe you better get on, because before this happened, we'd actually hit. I'll tell you another story here in a second, why we get into the center thing, but I won't tell you the whole story because it's kind of fucking extra gross. But basically, I said, Sean, maybe you better get into the middle lane, the 2-lane, four-lane highway split with a median in the middle. And I said, get in the middle because there's cars on either side. So he gets in the middle, we're going, and all of a sudden, as we start to see, there's people on either side of the road, and they're going, no! And we see a cow, it looks like a calf, laying on its side right on the lines in the middle of the road that we're on, in the middle of it. So we hit it, and as we hit it, we're noticing shit just exploding all over these people, going, no! And they're just getting choked, and we're like, duh, 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 duh. And the fucking
Couch shrapnel.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
And so we go, and we finally pull over, and I get out, and I'm like, nobody else will get out. Nobody wanted to face it. And as soon as I get out, the smell of the cooking, meat on the exhaust and whatnot. So basically what happened was there's a skid plate on a trailer that you can crank down. And it's a tube with a crank. And at the bottom has a plate that sits on the ground. And that plate at 65, 60 miles an hour works like a slicing, dicing machine. So basically, if it's the right thing, the chains can kind of lead it in a nice rub, a nice rub left to right as this thing starts to slice. And what happened was the cow exploded and bang, 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 bang between the trailer and the van. Boom, 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 boom everywhere. So what happened was, there's nothing we could do. It's the middle of the night. So we're just driving. So we get to Des Moines, we get gas, and it's just a gruesome fucking scene. So we got to get the shit off our van. It's like going to be daylight soon.
It's like a murder scene.
So we start heading north towards Minneapolis on another highway, and we see a sign off in the field as the sun's starting to come up. And this is the middle of the summer, I'll tell you. And it says car wash. And we're like, okay, shit, this way. So we get off the highway and drive, and it's like, fuck, where is this? We're going forever and ever and ever. And then we see this like shed. It's like, you pull into it. It's a shed with a back wall and everything. It's got 2 stalls. And so we pull in, and I get out, and I'm like, let's empty all the chains. I need all the chains. Let's go. So I get out, and I'm squirting. I'm cleaning. It takes me like 45 minutes, it's like blood and guts everywhere. And the last thing that was there was 2 like 10-ounce sirloins with a piece of fat on the chains, and I was squirting, and it was flipping around like this. Flip, 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 flip. So finally I just took the one, I flipped it, and looked. The sun had started to come out, and there was a ring of death probably about that high around where we were. So we backed out, and we went on our way to Minneapolis. And I just imagined somebody, I felt bad afterwards. If you're young and stupid, but imagine the middle of the summer in an Iowa cornfield, 100 degrees, and somebody's going to wash their fucking car. That's terrible. It's just terrible.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I think that one wins.
Yeah.
The only reason I told him to move into the Alliance is because previously we had been leaving South by Southwest, and I was in the center, and this time Ben was driving, and Sean was in the passenger seat, and when I was smoking weed at the same time, same story, and we started to notice debris and in the road.
It was your debris.
And backpack, and then you see a shoe, and anyway, it ended up being a person. We had an incident with that, so that's why I told him to move in the middle, because I thought it would be better for that thing. So it was a person who had already been hit by many cars and things that happened, and it was pretty. I had to write a report to the police and stuff, and it felt like a Stephen King novel after I was done. I read it, and I was like, what the fuck in the van? I was like, well, this is what happened. As we ended the debris, I noticed the carnage and bits and pieces and things, and and then the realization of what everything was. And so we had an experience. You got to realize we did over 2,500 shows in 10 years, driving all around the country, just
That's
free
badass.
for all. So there's a lot of stories that happen, and Charles took it there. So I'll finish with those.
Well, you guys need to come back on the show. Come back on to Keep Me Alive, and we'll talk about some more things, weird things. Hopefully, now after the EP drops, whenever that's going to be, if you know, tell us. But after this drops, or even before it drops, are you going to tour? Are you going to come to Pittsburgh maybe, and so me and TK can hang out with you?
We would love to play. We don't have any shows booked as of yet. We're still getting everything out, but we do have a succession of singles that are coming out. The next one comes out in September 13th, and the following one comes out October 30th. And then the EP will drop in November, I believe 22nd. And there'll be 2 more really great songs. I'm really excited about this. It's the best collection of music it's something. It's something. When I listen to the collection in my car really loud, it actually it moves me to almost tears. It's that impactful right now. So I feel pretty good about this. I feel pretty good.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, but we would love to tour. Because we're an independent artist, we have to figure out all the logistics of like getting out there, finding other bands to tour with that are similar, or that.
Dream the Heavies, they're available to tour with you.
There we go.
Dilemma solved, gentlemen. Dilemma
we
solved.
need love.
Let's do some.
I got a lot of that.
Yeah, we were thinking about trying to like have a home base like in Dallas and try to build that as like our home base scene, but then move out from there.
Yeah. I would love to meet you guys in person, and with or without the masks, it doesn't matter to me. I might wear one to your show if I can.
Yeah,
find
do
one.
it. We'd love to have it.
Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell
idea.
these like as a part of your merch? Is it going to be part of the merch?
That's a genius.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
That actually is a great idea. That's a great idea.
Thank you for that.
I'll give you my address and things. So you can send me the royalties from that idea. You're welcome.
It's on the way. Checks in the mail.
I'm gonna get some
crowd.
merch. I noticed you're all put some merch up on Instagram, and I'm gonna order some stuff as soon as we get done tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I need you to. Can you guys sign something? Is there something you can sign and put in? I don't know if you guys do your own merch shipping or not. Do you guys do that?
We do everything ourselves. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're completely
We're
self.
DIY 100%. We're the epitome of punk rock. We're doing everything against the grain, against the tide, but we're creating our own tide. That's all you can do. You have to
It's more
create your own
personable.
thing.
That's right.
It's more personable for the fans, and you gained a fan through me, and I'm sure TK also.
100%.
And likewise, my amazing conversation. I appreciate your questions and your engaging and your openness.
This
That's
was great.
important. Openness is a very important. Transparency.
Absolutely.
And it creates elevation.
TK, I'm gonna have to use you again. So, are
Agreed.
you available on? No, I'll send you my schedule and see if you're available.
Yeah, I greatly enjoyed it.
That's what our stickers look
I love
like.
this.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah, you had mentioned
Good.
when in talking about that you've been holding on to those words inside the Trojan Horse, and then that strong image, and you had even mentioned Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails on that image and whatnot. It's very. I'm a painter. Like I went to art school, you know what I mean, before going into music, and still make my living, as a painter. And that is extremely strong image. And like again, like I apologies that not hearing more about today was my introduction to you, and it was that image, your logo, it was your persona that had me completely intrigued in my ilk of wanting to know more.
Thank you.
And I love that. I love it about you. And now that I got to hang out with you, I want even more, man. I want even more. So yeah, well done. The music holds up. Hearing who you are and how it built, it even stamped how authentic it was. It came to me very pure, and I loved the layers and I loved what you were doing. But when getting to hear your backstory and knowing that there is a true artistic brotherhood behind it, fuck, dude, I can't wait to hear more. I'm in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
If you
cheers,
have
man. And I know that it's not bullshit, like just like fucking cock rock. That in getting to hear you, there is a mental capacity, and there's talent, and there is a mental capacity that holds it all together. That is a higher self that is getting this. I love it. I'm in.
So Nowhere is not John 5 then? Is that what you're saying? You're confirming that?
Yeah, I can confirm that. There is
I'm not going to confirm. I deny. I'm not going to confirm nor unconfirm.
I knew
that.
you weren't going to do that, Joe.
It may be John 5. You never know.
You never.
Damn
know.
it! I'm trying to get this. TK, you're not helping with me with this.
It could be John 6.
It's not John 4. We're going up.
Or Hank. It could be Hank 5. It could be Hank 5
I
or
will
Hank.
say this though, gentlemen. That was
0.5.
my first like big band, like major band, and like to learn from John 5 was a really special thing that I got to do.
I watched them when I was living with John and we got Charles in the band. I watched them. Charles would come over and John would work with him for hours and hours, and then we'd go rehearse for hours and hours every day, 5 days a week. We'd rehearse, and he'd be over there. John, he learned from a great master of his craft. So Charles has a lot of gifts, and he's worked with a lot of great cats. So that worked out really well.
You still talk to Johnny at all? You call him Johnny?
I do occasionally. I text him here and there, and then if I happen to see him out, I'll say hi. But I mean, it's been so long at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since a few years back at a Blacklight Burns. I went out with Danny Lohner and Skrillex before he was Skrillex, so it's a few years back. Yeah, it was. We went to see Blacklight Burns CD record premiere in Hollywood. It was the Palladium, I think it was, or somewhere. No, it wasn't the Palladium. I don't remember where it was, but I haven't seen him since. And it was the first time I'd seen him too. It was everybody kept saying to John, Joe's over there, and everybody kept saying to me, John's over there. It was like the high school thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get you. So like we're gonna fight out back or something. It wasn't like that at all. It was totally chill.
And John is that good. He would be like, stop, Charles. When you're fretting that F sharp, it's about 6 cents sharp. And I would check it, and it was exactly 6 cents sharp. What? I was like, I don't even. Whoa. He was like,
I don't even know how to fix that. That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do about it? That's
like, I don't have any change, bro.
She's like, that's my style. That's why I roll. You know? Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great talk. Great discussion.
Great chat.
Great fun. You know what I'm saying?
Please come back. Will you come back to the show once the EP drops or something? Or
I'm down.
Announce a tour or something. Maybe we'll do it in person.
Sounds good.
Something like that. TK will be there.
Yeah, man. I'll make it. You're worth it.
I'm in West Virginia. I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Pittsburgh, where TK is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh's good. If but there's we do have a lot of bands come through West Virginia. Big name bands, but mainly in Charleston or Morgantown would be the best. That's 30 minutes from me. But yeah, Pittsburgh would be perfect. I could go up and hang out with them, and I'm up there all the time anyway, seeing shows. So
definitely do Pittsburgh. Make it a point that Pittsburgh has a lot to offer, and more every year.
Yes, great city.
It's a great city.
The Dream the Heavy will open that show.
We have.
There we go.
They might headline. You never know.
You may open for Dream the Heavy.
Things happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Things happen.
Hey, we're a baby band. We're just getting started. Gaga googa, crawl, 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 crawl. One baby step at a time.
We do.
All right. So the new single drops September 13th, right? Savior.
Yes, sir.
And then you said another one on October
How They Run drops October 30th, the day before Halloween, and then the EP with Stay Alive and Blood and Teeth, which, oh my God, those songs are fucking blowing my. I've been listening to those two songs a lot lately because we just got them.
Me
back
too.
And those songs are blowing my fucking mind. Like I've literally almost wept. I mean, I probably did. I'm not going to try and be cool. It's fucking moved me. It's better than therapy. I'll tell you, it is therapy.
If you feel like you need to, I can be another source of ears for you before the EP drops. If you'd like to send me some teasers or something, I will not distribute to them anywhere. I will be the only ears that they land on or through.
See how they run.
I'm the media. I have to ask those kind of questions. You know what I mean? I guess I'm the media. I don't know.
The best thing about How They Run is it's actually a dystopian tale. It seems quite reflective of current times in a sense, but I only work in fiction, so we're fine.
Yeah, but wait till you hear Blood and Teeth and live.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all of them. That's why I'm saying. If you need somebody else to listen and just, I'm not going to critique anything. I'm just going to be like, oh yes.
He's going to be like, this sucks. I want my money back. We're like, we actually.
I need to do another 287 episode because this. No.
Fucking slow it down. It's way too fast, man. Come on.
Why are they so angry about something? You know?
Do you remember Don Johnson's Heartbeat? More like that, please.
TK, thank you for co-hosting. Come back sometime and co-host with me. We'll do it in person or something.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Great co-host. Great host. Great co-host.
I love it.
I like it.
Inside the Trojan Horse is out now. It's
Great
Burn.
show.
Burn is a great song. It'll drive you crazy until the next single comes out on September 13th, but it's worth the wait. It's well worth the wait. I wish you guys much success. Come to Pittsburgh. Let's do this together. Let's sit down and I will wear the new merchandise mask that you sell. I will buy one, and me and TK will both wear one. Maybe we'll wear the same one together, and we'll just be like a two-headed. I don't know.
I love it. I love
Don
it.
the mask.
So you're doubling our pleasure. That's like do times 2 equals do. You double it, it's more than you've ever had.
I have these Keep Me Alive stickers, brand new, that I'd love to send you guys.
Fun.
You guys send me your snail mail, and I'll send you out some merch and crap if you want. I do have temporary tattoos I need to reorder, but I will send you a buttload of those. You can stick them on your forehead, on your mask if you want to. I don't care. They're white. They're white. You know, white.
Oh yeah.
So I'll send you some stuff if you'd like them.
Really in the market for fake mustaches and aviator glasses, but we'll take it.
Okay, well maybe I can get the aviator glasses with the logo, like this logo, right in the freaking eye hole. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'll do that for sure.
Sabotage.
My next show is I talk to bands constantly, so I don't know when the very next show is recently, but from the next one. But September 24th, I have a great band out of Germany. Be the second time I've had a band in Germany called Obey the Kraken, and I'm convinced that this is probably going to be the heaviest band I've ever had on the show. It's brutal. You just have to watch it. That's September 24th.
Guten Tag, Germany.
Yes, I need to brush up a little bit. The first time I was awful at German, but that's September 24th at 2 p.m. So tune in for that. And of course, I'm posting all the time about who I have on next. But thank you guys so much for being on. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And yes, let's hang out. Let's hang out in Pittsburgh and ride the incline together, holding hands with our masks on.
I'm into it.
TK, thank you again. We're gonna close the show. We're gonna close the show with a band that I know from Charlotte. That I've never met them in person, but I've had them on the show. They were just Imperium at the time, but they've changed their name to Lost Imperium, and they put out this brand new song called "The Deserter." And it's pretty damn good. The lead singer is actually from Australia, but it's good stuff. Check it out. This is the Deserter. Got it.
Good eye, mate.
The Deserter. Okay. Yeah. I think he goes to the Outback a lot. I don't know. That's dumb. All right. Thank you guys again. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Charles, Joe, Pat, real pleasure.
See you guys. Great chat.
Thank you, man.